G'day everyone and welcome back to Apaya Puzzles, and today we have a variant Sudoku in store. Welcome also to new subscribers, thanks for coming along. This is a variant Sudoku by the setter Playmaker6174, who's been around for a while now and is very popular. And as it turns out, this featured on Cracking the Cryptic this morning, although I had brought it up a day or two ago with the intention of doing a video of it. So I'm going to proceed and hope that I can match Simon's skill. It's supposedly not too difficult according to the Logic Masters, although the video that Simon put up was fairly long, so we'll see. So let me explain the rules and get going. This funny little face in the grid here. Now, normal Sudoku rules are applying, so we need to put 1 to 9 in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 region. Too easy. Now, these X's are joining digits that sum to 10. So you could put 1, 9, you could put 2, 8, etc. We also have arrows. So these arrows mean that the digit in here is the sum of these 3 digits. So if that was 1, 2, 3, this would have to be a 6. That is arrows, standard rules. We also have this green line, which is a German whisper line. That just tells us that along the line we need to proceed with differences of at least 5 between the two cells. So if this was a 2, this has to be at least 5 away, so it would be a 7, 8, 9. This has to be at least 5 away from this value, so if that was a 7, this would have to go down to a 1 or a 2, in this case a 1, because of that 2, etc. And then it's purple Renban lines, and these are just a sequence of consecutive digits in any order. So if this could be 3, 4, and 5, and we could put it in any order we like, something like that. Let's delete all that. In fact, let's restart. Actually, I won't restart because I've scrolled this to a very particular position so you can read it all. And that is everything. So let's, what's my new expression? Waffles away. Now, first thing to know about German whisper line is you cannot put a 5 on there, because if you put a 5 on a line, a German whisper line, the digit 5 away from that would have to be a 0 or a 10 or outside of those bounds, which are not valid. So there's no 5 on here. We'll come back to the logic on German whisper lines as well with regards to other digits, but we can also say of a 5-cell Renban line that there must be a 5 on it, because any selection of digits of length 5 that are consecutive will contain the 5. Even if you go the lowest you could, 1, 2, 3, 4, there'll be a 5. As high as you could, 9, 8, 7, 6, there'll be then a 5, and anything in between would contain a 5. So there's definitely a 5 on that line. Very good. Now, okay, this is interesting. So this, let's give this a color. This is some sort of flavor of X, 1, 9, 2, 8, 3, 7, 4, 6. This one is a different flavor. We know that that's not the same because they're in the same box. But now we can say that this is not green or purple either, because if this was, let's say green was 1, 9, you couldn't put the 1, 9 green pair in there, because that would clash with this digit. You'd have 3 digits containing 1 and 9, 3 cells containing 1 and 9. But it also can't be the purple because of the purple here. So if these are both purple, you've got 3 purples in the row. So this is another color, and this has the same property. So this is another color as well. So they're the 4 values, or the 4 types of 10. Sorry, where that 1, 9. Now, interesting. Just kind of curious about the impact that has on these arrows. I'm not sure. Actually, that is a bit interesting. If we consider the 9, so you can't put 9 on an arrow because the circle would be more than 9. It has to sum these digits. So you can put a 9 here, but you can't put it on the line itself. Now, on one side, we'll have a 1, 9 pair because we've got all of our 4, 10 options in the colors. So one side will have a 1, 9, but the other side will not have a 1, 9. And it won't have a 9 in here either. So it would have to have a 9 along the top. So there will be a 9 in one of those 6, depending on where the 1, 9 is. So there's not a 9 in here. So there is a 9 in one of these 6 cells because there's not one here. Oh, this is interesting. If that was a 9, it makes the German... Oh, let me turn off the red pencil marking. So there's no cheating. If that was a 9, this would be a 7, 8. And that's a problem because... Oh, no, is it? Oh, no, it's not what I thought. It might be... Actually, it is a problem for a different reason. I thought that it would be forcing... If there was an X going this way and an X going this way, I thought that might be a problem. Anyway, point being that actually, if we do this, watch this digit, and now we need to understand German whisper lines. Because of this 5 difference idea, when you put a large digit in a cell, the next digit has to be at least 5 away and is therefore going to always be a small digit. And the next one up has to be at least 5 away from that and will always be a big digit, because even if this was a 1, you'd have to go to at least a 6. So you go up and down like that. The problem with this setup is that if I do 9, 7, 8, this would become a 6. That's the only big digit it can be. But you cannot put a 6 in the middle of a German whisper line because the only digits that are 5 away from it are 1s, and you have to put a 1 on both sides, and that would break the column. So all that is to say, this is not a 9. In fact, there's no... So in these 3 cells, there's no 4, 5, or 6. 4 has the same property to 6 in that if you put a 4 somewhere in the middle, you'd have to put 9 on either side of it, and that's no good. So no 4, 5, or 6 in here. Interesting. And one of these will be a 4, 6 pair. Oh, hang on, I should be thinking about 5s as well for a second. As in, you can't put 5s in these cells. So you're going to get a 5 in there and a 5 in here. And yeah, this is a kind of, I think they call it an empty rectangle, in that if you have a 5 along here, then there'll be a 5 down here. But if you have a 5, well, I think the point is you can't put a 5 in here. I know you can, because you just put 5 here and here. Okay, so that's... interesting. Well, hang on. Do I have a similar problem? Yeah, these can't be 9s either, because you'd still get 9, 8, 7 in some order, and that would have to be a 6. Okay, so they're not 9s. That was the easy way to look at that. Now, this line, so either it's got to have the digits 1 to 8 in some, like a set of 3 of those. I was just thinking about the 5. Like if you put a 5 here, because this can't be a 4 or a 6 because of the German whisper constraint, it would have to say be like a 3 and then put a 4 here. It must be 2 or 1. Yeah, okay, that's okay. just remember, those three are the same parity. Those two are the same parity. Right, those two are the same parity. I think maybe you couldn't have all these the same, but if that was like 2, 3, 4, and that was a 1, I think that would be okay. Well, because one of these x's has a 9 on it, and then there's a 9 in there. That's right, we established there would be a 9 along the top. Oh, I'm also forgetting these can't be 5s because these are 3-cell arrows. I thought they were 2-cell. If this was 5, this would have to sum to 5, and 1, 2, 3 minimum is 6. So in fact, there's no 7 or 8 on there. Isn't that relevant? So on one side there will be a 7 in one of these. There won't be one in there. There won't be one in there. There'll be one in there. Yeah. So if there's a 7 in here, it ends up getting forced into here because it can't be in these and it can't be on the 3-cell arrow. And therefore there's none of that digit there. But equally it's true of 8. So there must be a 7, 8 and 9 down here. So the only large digit left is a 6. So if this was big, this would have to be a 6. And you can't do that, as we've explained. So this cannot be big. This must be small. Can't be 4 because it would need 9 on either side. Wow. Okay. So, and this can't be a 6 either because for the same reason. So this is a 7, 8, or 9. This is a 1, 2, 3. This is a 6, 7, 8, 9. And this is a 6, 7, 8, 9. We can put a 6 on the end because we can put a single 1 next to it. Now this has to be consecutive with the 1, 2, 3. So it's from 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Now is that going to tell us all of the secrets of the universe? Oh well, it is, because these have to be, these 3 digits have to be from 7, 8, and 9. Because we knew there was 7 and 8 down here. So we've got, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to complete the box. Now, that must tell me lots of things. Oh, hang on, where's my 6? Sorry, there's a 6 in there. Can't put 6s here because 3, 4, 5 would be the maximum. So there's definitely a 6 in there. So there's no 6 in there. This is going to be interesting because, this is great. One of these sides has a 6, 4. Let's say it's there. Then there's a 6 here. So then on the other side, we can't put the 6 in the color. So the 6 would have to go on the arrow. And as soon as you put a 6 on an arrow, it has to be going with 1, 2 to give a 9. That's the only way you can do it. So one of these 2 arrows is a 9 with a 6 and then a 1, 2. So there, so yeah, wow. Okay, so let's say that the 6 ended up here. That means that there's no 4 in these digits, and it's not on there either. So the 4 would be up here, and the alternative is you go over here and put the 4 up here. So there's no 4 through here. Wow. So the 4 is on this line. It's in one of those positions. So this can no longer be a 1 because that would be a 1, 2, 3 triple. So that's not a 1. that means this can't be a 6 because 6 has to go next to 1 on a German whisper line. Okay, is that as far as that goes? Yeah, okay. Well, let's consider 8 then. There's going to be an 8 on one side of this. Is this what? Oh, that's right. I already know. No, there's going to be 7 and 8 up here somehow. 6. Yeah, okay. Maybe we need to consider this line since we know a bit more. We've got 7, 8. No, hang on. There can't be a 1 on this line at all because it has to have a 4. So the only place for the 1 is across here. So now there'll be a 1, 9 somewhere. Putting a 1 up here, and on the other side, no 1, no 1. The 1 would be on the arrow, which would be with the 9. Because by putting the 1, 9 here, this becomes a 9. So the side that has a 9 will be with a 1 and a 6 in its box. And then the digit down here would be a 2. We'll pencil mark that across the boxes. So you're going to have a 1, 6 with a 9. The 1, 6, the 4 ends up here and therefore in here. Oh yeah, so the 4 would be... Oh, hang on, the fact they've got a 4 here means this is not 4, 6. So either you've got 4, 6 there, or you have 4 and 6 like that. But the 4 is always down the bottom. There's no... Ah, I see. And so because the 4, oh no, if the 4 was there, then you have a 6 here, a 6, and then the 6 would go down the bottom of the arrow. But if it's 4, 6 like that, 6, it'd be a 6 there. So we can't tell the order of the 6 and the 1, but there will be a 9. Okay, probably missing some important consequence of all that. I like that 2 business, but I'm surprised it doesn't have much effect. I don't think these arrows really tell me much right now. The purple line... Well, actually, this digit can't be there, can't be on its own line, can't be there because it would reflect into there. So that digit is in one of those cells. And we can say the mirror for this one, but I don't know what I do with that. This digit. No. This kind of has some influence on the purple line. So if this was a 6, this would now have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because you couldn't put a 6 on it anywhere. And 7 would limit it a little bit, not quite as much. Am I missing a trick with these digits? Are they more constrained than I realize? Ah. Ooh. I put a 3 here, these would be 8, 9 to be 5 away, which would mean that the 7 in this box was here. Well, in fact, no, a better point is that whatever this digit is, its x equivalent, say this was a 3, the 3, 7x couldn't be there. But because the 7 would get placed in here, it also couldn't be in these, so it would have to be there. Two is not the same though, because it doesn't have the same restriction on these. What are you supposed to do here? I mean, if you put a 5 in here, I wonder if it's impossible to put 5s in both of those. Ah, it probably is actually. I'm gonna play this out as an example to show, because it's going to be tricky to show without putting it in. Imagine this was this thing, which we know exists somewhere. If we put a 5 on the other side, it has to be 5, 1, 2 for 8, because that's the only big digit that you can make without being a 9. And the 5's in here, this would be a 1, so you'd have a 5, 2. Now, it strikes me this might be problematic. Maybe not actually, because so now the 2 8's not in here, it must be over here. The 1 9's over here, the 4 6 is over here, and the 3 7's over here. And that basically seems okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, no. You definitely cannot put 5 on both sides, because I know that one of the sides is a 6 1. So you can only put a 5 on one side, and then on the other side it must go in here, and therefore in here it must be in here, and the only place is here. So this is 4 5. So there's no 5 here, and there must be a 5 on the line, which will go with a 1, with a 2 rather, so that this can be a 1 to make an 8. So this is 1 2. These are 8 9. 4 5 means this is a 3 on the line. And let's get rid of some of these pencil marks. There's a definite 6 out there, and there's no 3. So that's a 1 2 6 triple. I'll get rid of the pencil mark. Right, okay, so that's cool. So the 2, and then you got a 6 and a 1, which I don't know if I know the way around it goes. But this 3 does now go with an 8 9, which means that this has a 7, and now you can't put a 3 7 in these, because these can't be 3 or 7, nor there, so this is 3 7. 7 up there. 8 9 means this is a 6 or a 7. The 3 and the 7 must be up here, because in the row they can't be anywhere but there. So now we have 4 5 over here, which means this is not, so the 4 6 is over here. Oh, which means this has to be the 6th side. So this is 1 6, this is 2 5, this is 8, this is 1 2 9, this is 2 8, meaning this is not an 8, meaning this is an 8, this is a 9, 3 7 2 8 4 6 and 1 9's place. So the 9 must be up here with the 1 down here, and then 4 6, the 4's there and the 6 is there. And I don't think that's further resolved, but that's quite some progress. Now then, what do we do now? What do we do now? It's actually not obvious what influence that has beyond those central 3 rows. Oh, sorry. These ones, because of the 1 here, this has to be at least 2 3. So this is at least a 5, and at most an 8. But on this side, because of the 2, you could just have 1 and 3. So that's only limited to 4. And it repeats, but then it could go down there happily enough. Curiously, one of these corners at least must be the digit. Like if you do this, I think this is true. Let's say you did that, they're the same. No, sorry, if you put that on the line, maybe I'm wrong, hang on. I was thinking that you couldn't also put this one on, yeah, you couldn't, because whatever this is, if this is a 6, you put a 6 here, this is therefore definitely bigger than that. So it couldn't also go on the same arrow as this one. This is a 6, 6, maybe a 7. You can't put a 7 on a 6 arrow. So at least one of these 2 corners is where you put that digit that will come across. But it could be both corners as well. What about this string here? If this was going to be include 6 and 7, you couldn't put them both in here, so you'd have to put one of them outside. Then where does that go in here? This is interesting. If I put a 6 here, so my idea is I want to try to put 6 and 7 on the line. I can't put them both in here because of this. So I'd have to put at least one of them outside. But then it doesn't go there, doesn't go there, can't go there. And this seems like it's not going to work. Well, okay, I think it might force this to be the 7. So my thinking here is that, no. Because the 6 could just go there, couldn't it? No, forget all that. What can this actually be? Well, it's still got loads of options, doesn't it? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is not propitious. I'm quite surprised that this isn't clearer at this point. What am I not noticing? nothing seems to be sufficiently restricted. Let's just put this in as being the same as this. Just thinking that the 3 in this row now. No, it's got lots of spots, doesn't it? Let's highlight that briefly. I was thinking the 3 at the top. If it was on one of these, it would get reflected down. It's not going to do it, is it? Well, that would become a 3. One of those would be a 3. That seems fine. What about this digit? That digit's in one of those because of the 1-2 pair that blocks it from there. Well, if that was 1, it would have the effect of telling us that neither of these could contain a 1, and so you'd have to have a minimum of 5 on here. I should also be thinking about this 9, because it can't go on the arrow, so there's a 9, there's a 9 in there, and it can't go on here, so there's 9 here. That's what I needed. A little bit of Sudoku. I say that, it may not be enough, but better than nothing. Oh, and you can't put an 8 on this one because this can't be a 9. But you can put it basically anywhere else. But on this side, that 8 can't go there, can't go on the arrow because it would sum to 9. So the 8 is in one of those spots. But it might be about as far as I can take that. No, so the 7 can't go on there because it can't go with a 1. So the 7's in one of those, which and again, yeah, if there was a this is interesting. So if that was a 1, putting a 1 here, you can no longer put 1s on these arrows. And not only does that mean this couldn't be a 4, but it also means you couldn't put a 7 on the arrows because they would make and need a 1 to get to 8. So that would mean that the 7's either here or down here in the row. There'd be a 7, there already is a 7 in this top bit. It's not going to do it. If I could eliminate the corner, that would be cool. well, that corner position. Ah, that's interesting. I said that you had to have at least one of these corners being the continuation of that set. And now that that's a 9, it cannot be the continuation of this. So this digit here goes here. So it's a 5, 7, or 8. Can't be a 6. So it cannot be a 6. There's at least one small on each of these. Well, so there's one of 1 and 2 in there. There's at least one small on each of these. There's only one small left, which could go on an arrow or could go in the middle box here. This 5, 7, 8. That's those digits. Might get rid of these colorings now, actually. That digit, 5, 7, or 8. So it's one of those 3. Over here, well, I think I probably got lucky thinking of that earlier. I don't know that that's part of the intended path. So if this is 5, that's kind of quite limiting. This would have to be 2, 3. That would be 1. Because the 1 would have to go in there rather than the 2. Ah, but hang on, so that would be 1, 2, and 3 used. So over here, the minimum you could put would be 4 and 5. And that cannot work, so you can't put a 9 here. So this cannot be a 5, nor can this, as a result. It must be the same the other way. You can't put a small, because you have 2 smalls from 1, 2, hang on. Well, if it's 4, that's 1, 3, and then there'd be a 2 in here, and this would be 4, 5, and if this is a 5, then 1, 4, there'd be a 2 in here, 3, 5, 8. Oh, in fact, we know this digit is on here. That's the point. So this has to be smaller than this. So it is a 4, 5, or 6. Here we go. Did I just take out a 7? It could have been a 7 if there's a 1. But it can't be a 7 because there can't be a 1 in there. So now you either got a 4 with a 3 for 7, a 5 with a 2 for 7, or a 5 with a 3 for 8, or a 6 with a 2 for 8. There's never a 1 in there. This side over here is very small now, so it's either 1, 3 for, I thought I showed that couldn't work actually. It couldn't be 1, 3 for 4 because then you'd have a 2 in here. 1, 2, 3, this would be 4, 5. So it's not, this just isn't 4. Here we go. I could be doing this more elegantly, I think, but so it's 5 or 6. So I can't have, so no, you've still got other option, I think. So this is either 1, 4, we get 2 in here and then a 3 over here, which would make this an 8, or it's a 6, which could be 1, 5, and the 6 on here would still need to go to 8 with a 2, or a 2, and actually 1, 5, that would put a 2 here, so you couldn't do that. 1, 5 would put a 2 in here, 3, sorry, yeah, 3, and then it would be 3, 6 minimum. so it can't be 1, 5. So it has a 4. If it's 2, 4 for 6, there's a 1 in here, then you can have 3, 5 for 8. So definite 4, so there's no 4 in here. So that's fine. There is a 4 in one of those. This is not, I feel like this probably can't be an 8, a 7 rather. If it's a 7, it's got to be 2, 5 only. Alright, then there's a 1 in here and this can't work. Right, okay, so this is 8. Whew. And that's an 8 down there. This is either 2, 6 or 3, 5. There's a 4 over here. And because there's now like a virtual 1, 2 triple, there's either a 1 or 2 in here and a 1 or 2 in here, so there's no 2 on here. So that is a 3, 5. Okay, now we're talking. So what are we talking? We're talking that this is a 5. And this is a 1, 4. And this is a 1, and this is a 3, 4, all by Sudoku. Old mate Sudoku, 2, 6 and 7. That's not 2, we have 6. That 1 there gives us that this is a 2. That makes this a 7 to be 5 away. 6, 2, 7. I'm glad I powered on here. I almost gave up hope. Now if this was a 4, this whole line would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, and this can't be a 5 because it would eliminate 5 from the entire line, so that is 4, that's 5. Get rid of those. Get rid of those 2s. What other Sudoku have I missed? 'Possibly not a lot. 5 gives me that. Gives me that. 4, 5, 8. 4, 3, 5. Okay. Now this 5, the line doesn't have a 4 in it, so it is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the 7's not in there. So there is a 7 out here. That's why, whatever. Now then, we must be close now. There's not an enormous amount left to do. This is limited by the fact that it sees a bunch of digits, so it can't be 4, 5, 7 or 8. So it's 1, 2, 3, 6 or 9. Which is not very limited. This one sees 4, 5, 7 and 3, so that's even less limited. Let's get rid of those options and think again. What have we got left in the boxes over here? Or in this row actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 6 and 7, which doesn't tell us a lot. We need 3, 6, 7 and 9. So this is a 3 or a 7. This is 3, 6, 7, 9 with a definite 9 in it. And that's not that restricted. So now we need 2, 4, 6 and 7. There's no 2 there. So there is a 2 in there. We have 3's there and 3's there, which places a 3 up here. 4's there, 4's there, places a 4 in there. Okay. This digit, so these are 3, 4, 6, 7 in the column, but this one can't be a 4 or a 7 because of these. There's a 4 there and there's definitely a 7 along the top somewhere. So it's a 3 or a 6. That's not a 7. Over here we've got 3, 4, 5, 7. This can't be a 7 or a 4. This can't be a 5. This can't be a 7. Right. And still need to put 1, 2, and 3 into this box. So one of them's going to have to go on there. Well, this one's not a 3. But it could be a 1 or a 2, I think. And this one, neither of those is 3 actually. Is that right? Yeah, because this 3, maybe I can just see this by Sudoku. There's a 3 in there, but if this was a 3, that would be a 3, and there couldn't be a 3 over there. So that gets us a 3, which is interesting. What do I do there? Take the 3 off. There we go. And there will be a 1 or a 2 on here. Could there be both? Probably. There's a 4 here. No, that's no use to us. Well, there's been some swathes of silence here. I apologize. I cannot figure out what I'm supposed to see. Oh, what about along the top? Hang on. Oh, no, of course, this is a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple, so this is a 3. That might have been the... it's a 3 in the corner. Oh, yeah. I said. Now we're going places. That might have been all that it took. Now 3, 3, 3, 7. It doesn't resolve that quite, but this is a 1, 2 pair. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So let's keep on. Let's see if we didn't learn something profound from that. There is a 4 in there. Oh, there's a 5 in, there's a 5 there. Aha. That's going to do some work because we get this. Yeah, that was the thing we needed to unravel a lot of things. This might just absolutely tear through the puzzle. 7, 6. The one here gives me the 2. Yeah, this is huge. That gives me 4, 7, 2, 8, I believe. That's a 4. That's not an 8 or a 6. 7, 9. There's a 1 in one of these. 1, 7, 9. That can't be a 7. So this is a 1 or a 9. 1, 7, 9. 7, 9. Surprisingly, that doesn't quite resolve. The only place for 2 in this column is here. Did I have that before? No, because I didn't know what was here. But now I do. At least I know that it's not a 2. So that's 2, 7, 9, 7. This can't be an 8. So left with a 1, 6, 9 in the column. Now 1, 6, no, that's not a 9, so 1, 6, 8 and 2. 1, 6, 8 and 2. And this can't be a 1 because it will put a 1 there. So this is 2, 6, 8. Can't be a 6 because of the 6 on the left. 2 or 8. Okay, that can't be a 6. So we've got 1, 2, 8, 9. So this is 2, 8 or 9. Okay, what do we do now? No 7. That's a 3. that's a 6, 9. This is a 7, 3, 7. That's therefore not the 7, so this is the 7. And it feels like that should have done something else. There we go. 4, 5, 1, 4. And yes, 2, 6, 8, 9, and 3. There's only 3 available here in this column by Sudoku. I've got a 1, 9 pair there. Oh, this makes this a 7. And there's an 8 over here, so this is a 2. And we're left with a 6 only there. That's not a 6. This is a 9, 6. 2, 8 pair makes this a 9. 6, 8. That's a 2 by the arrow. That's an 8. That's a 2. That's an 8. That's not a 2 and 8. So 1, 9, 9, 1, 1, 6. Ah, beautiful. 1,200 solves. That's since it's been put up this morning and gotten a huge following. Beautiful puzzle. Well, thanks for sticking with me. I acknowledge there were some periods of there were some lulls in there for sure, and perhaps a couple of things that might have been more obvious than I realized, but pleased to have gotten through that. I'll be interested to see Simon's solve, to see if he did something more sophisticated, although I think, as I said, I think his video was about 50 minutes, so it wasn't too much longer, too much shorter than mine. So thanks again for being with me. I'll be back tomorrow with a cryptic crossword from Liam Runnels to check out as well. Well, assuming I publish this today, which I think I will. I have also just published my David Astle puzzle from today, so check that out, cryptic crossword. And I'll see you all again tomorrow. Take care.